Well, football fans, welcome to another fantastic Football Friday and another edition of Down and Out with our very own Dr. David Chow, brought to you by Bet Parks as we bring you the latest injury updates from around the NFL. And Doc, I got to tell you, I'm getting tired of asking these questions, but last night's game, an ugly game between the Broncos and Colts, and unfortunately, another head injury for the Colts running back, Nyheim Hines. Man, is it just me, or are we just seeing a lot more concussions through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season?
No, I mean, it's statistical variance, but also a lot of attention now with Tua and the stumbling. And there was no question he was going to get ruled out, and he got ruled out quickly. As a matter of fact, I noted that when Nyheim Hines went to the locker room, the Red Hat didn't even follow him. Look, the Red Hat, UNC, is not responsible for treatment. It's just for in the game, out the game. So he or she already knew that he was out of the game, didn't even go with him into the locker room based on what the NFL is looking at. And I thought it was very interesting. There is a little bit of interesting reaction, and it's not bad. Russell Wilson got buzzed down for a head check, right? And he went into the blue tent and was cleared. And there were like 8 people looking at the video replay. That doesn't usually happen, right? I mean, and late in the game, the Broncos on a drive for the Colts, a guy got buzzed down, defensive player, had to come off the field, number 42, right? It seemed like everyone's on pins and needles saying, we can't let anything happen, especially in a nationally televised game, and that's not bad. But let me tell you something, Rich, and I'm not hating at all on Alex Smith's comments or Joe Burrow's comments. And you even have said, look, you may have, fudged this, that, the other. But as doctors, we're really relying on honest reporting of symptoms. Until that attitude changes, there is no concussion protocol in the world that will catch everyone. What you're going to find is if you try and catch everyone, you're going to rule out or pull off a lot of guys off the field that don't have anything. And then there's going to be the complaint the other way. I mean, imagine a key drive or a key moment and et cetera. I get the safety of players, but Joe Burrow's comments, I've forgotten games and, it's been okay. And Alex Smith talking about it. I respect that they're warriors and what they do. But if you're going to say that's okay, then you can't say the concussion protocol will ever be anything close to perfect.
There's no question there's a heightened sense of awareness. And you bring up a great point because so much of the attention has been on the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant. It's been on the team doctors. It's been on the head coaches as if they can control what the doctors do. But at some point, Doc, and you bring up a great point, where do the players fall in terms of the responsibility for full disclosure, to be honest about their own health and safety, to say, hey, you know what? I saw stars or I blacked out for a second. I think that the NFL and National Football League Players Association really need to take that to heart as well.
Yeah, and look, I don't know what happened in the Tua thing, and I'm looking forward to the investigation. In real time, we talked about it. I thought he was concussed when he went down, but the explanation of the back. But put yourself in the doctor's shoes, assuming he passes the entire concussion protocol and he has no issues of impairment whatsoever, and all you're doing is looking at the video and saying, I'm going to rule you out based on the video. And Tua, the star quarterback, against the AFC East Buffalo Bills, says, I swear to you, Doc, it was my back. It was a first quarter play. Here's what it was. I'm fine now. I swear to you. I'm not sure that's what happened. Okay. I'm just saying, doesn't it make it very difficult for the UNC or the head team physician? Look, we're trained as doctors to believe our patients, not believe them. I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying it's a difficult situation is all.
I think it's to get back to trust what you see, and when in doubt, keep them out. And I think you and I both agree with that. Let's talk about some quarterbacks this weekend that are dealing with some injuries. Tom Brady in Tampa, he's been dealing with the shoulder injury he suffered last week, the right finger injury. My sense, Doc, is Brady will find a way to play this week.
Tom Brady, he's going to play, a couple extra scoops of avocado ice cream or something. I mean, right? He's going to play. It's Tom Brady, right? And here's the beautiful thing about Tom Brady. Unlike some of the younger quarterbacks, and you can vouch on this, Tom Brady doesn't need to practice. He knows that system. He's got the timing. He can get it done. But a younger quarterback or a quarterback in a newer, different system, if he doesn't practice during the week, it affects him. But that's not Tom Brady.
Couple New York quarterbacks, Doc, that are dealing with ankle injuries. Zach Wilson's got an ankle injury with the Jets, and Daniel Jones also dealing with an ankle injury. He'll be over in London this weekend playing the Packers. My sense is both will play. How about you?
You are correct. I'm really not worried about Zach Wilson and his ankle. And of course, we've said our six score Sports Injury Central in the 90s, his knee, we're not worried. Last week, we were saying take the over rushing prop, and he did hit that. We were so confident. My bigger worry for Zach Wilson is his offensive line. He's on right tackle number 4 and left tackle number 3. That's going to be a big deal there against the blitzing Miami Dolphins defense. For Daniel Jones, he doesn't even, is fresh off the press. He doesn't even have an injury designation. He will play for the Giants against the Packers in London. Davis Webb will be the backup. The question is how effectively. Look, if you go by fantasy points, half of his points have been on the ground the last 2 weeks. Is he going to be able to duplicate that? I doubt it. So what's the effectiveness and how does the game plan change, even though Daniel Jones is going to be the starter? And his thing is, he's got no receivers to throw to. Kenny Golladay, MCL. Kadarius Toney didn't even travel with a second hamstring on the other side. And we all know Sterling Shepard tore his ACL. So who's he going to throw the ball to?
Sounds like a train wreck to me. Let me ask you about a couple of receivers. Alan Lazard of the Packers dealing with an ankle. And Keenan Allen, your old team, the Chargers, still dealing with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, Keenan Allen apparently left mid-practice with an athletic trainer the previous week. So it seems like he re-aggravated or did something more. He was on track to be playing, but there seems to be a setback there. Alan Lazard has been playing through the last couple of weeks with his ankle. And look, Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers has said it. They're now, based because of their offensive line issues with Bakhtiari playing but not 100%, and Elton Jenkins. Look, Jenkins might be moved to guard now and a shuffle there to improve their offensive line. They're a little bit run first right now, I think, given the young wide receivers and the offensive line issues.
Just two more. Myles Garrett with the Cleveland Browns dealing with a shoulder and a bicep injury, suffered in a car accident a couple of weeks ago. Your thoughts on whether or not the Browns will have their star pass rusher this weekend?
Well, last week, I mean, did you look at the car? I mean, it wasn't just a shoulder strain. I mean, he's lucky to be alive, right? And that's why I said all week last week, from the beginning of the week, Myles Garrett is not going to play. He's going to be too sore. This week, I think he has a chance to play. But the question is, how much residual soreness all over his body will he have? And will he be the explosive Myles Garrett? And of course, Jadeveon Clowney. Last week, one of our big things was the Browns were missing 4 of their front 7. And that's why we said Falcons, right? I mean, we like the Falcons. And as it turns out, who would have thought 35 rushes, 177 for the Browns with Chubb and Hunt, 35 rushes and 202 yards for the Falcons with Cordarrelle Patterson, who left the game early, and just some new guys and a committee. The Falcons took advantage of the defensive shortcomings of the Browns last week to actually win outright, even though they were underdogs.
All right, Doc, this last one, a feel-good story. And in all your years as a team orthopedic surgeon, I'm not so sure you ever saw this injury. The Washington Commanders rookie running back from Alabama, Brian Robinson, was shot a couple of weeks ago in attempted robbery. Miraculously, he's recovered. He's doing well. He's back on the practice field. A chance we see him this week. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, look, we said from the get-go he got lucky with it didn't hit any bone, nerves, or arteries, and we fully expect him to be ready to go physically. But he's a rookie that's missed a lot of time. So there's acclimation. His practice window just opened. I don't know that he plays this week, not because of physical attributes or issues. It's just acclimation to the system and as a rookie, but physically he's fine. And believe it or not, Rich, I'm old. I have seen that before. Look, not quite the same situation. We had a safety once that the Chargers drafted, and after we drafted him, he got shot in a mall parking lot. And I'm calling the doctors down there to figure out what the situation was, what have you. I've left the guy's name out. It's public record. I guess you could see it. But my point is, I don't know. As an old guy, I mean, I think there's not a lot I haven't seen. It is kind of crazy.
Absolutely bizarre, but still a great story. Thanks again, Doc, for another edition of Down and Out with Dr. David Chow, brought to you by Bet Parks. Enjoy the games this weekend.